We had a fantastic trip to Ecuador this year. A normal day for us in the jungle, we start out, we have a meal at the hostel, which is where we're staying. And then we head out to the work site, where basically from 9 to 1, we'll be at the work site. And we had set out plans for building a 4th grade classroom. And we were one of the first teams of the summer, so our goal was to complete the concrete slab that was the foundation for this building. And we did a lot of prep work throughout the work days, and then the final day of work was pouring about 20 yards of concrete, which is poured by hand. And we accomplished the goal.
When they were on the work site, I was actually in the classroom working with some of the older girls on their math. They particularly needed help because they're doing online schooling, some of the older girls, so they needed tutoring. In the afternoons, we did VBS at a town called Pucallchica. And an interesting thing about this VBS is that the kids don't come to us, is that we visit them in their own community. A particularly cool part this summer was the kids learned about sin and how we can break through that wall of sin and come to Jesus, and that He is waiting with open arms. In my experience, it is almost impossible to visit this community once, this family in Christ once, and not want to return, because you get so overwhelmed with how much God is doing in the jungle. The amazing work that He has begun and that He works at constantly in these people in this community is overwhelming.
This year we went to the Henderson Settlement in White Oak, Tennessee. It's a satellite location, and we helped several families out in the community. We put vinyl siding on a house. We also put a vinyl skirt under a trailer, and we did multiple campus projects. We repainted, we put doors on. It's a great trip. We take 25 people, teenagers in the youth program and adults. It's an interesting community. It's a lot different than here. It's very rural and poor, so it's eye-opening to drive 4.5 hours away and see this kind of poverty. But it's also a beautiful thing to help these people. You open them up to being acceptable to strangers, because they don't like strangers. And so by helping them and making their homes look nicer, it opens them up to reaching out to other people. And I think for the kids and even the adults, I've done several of these, it's a wonderful feeling.
In 2012, Bishop Watson, Bishop of the North Georgia Conference, committed us to be a part of the United Methodist Bridges experience. Bridges is a program that is meant to connect local churches with foreign churches, where we as a church can commit to doing things that possibly as individuals we might not be able to do. I have had the opportunity to be able to go to the Bahamas in February and be a participant in the Habitat for Bahamas program. We will be building a home for young children that are currently living in tents and in less than what we would call even the bare necessities. And while I'm there, since I'm beyond being one of those that feels comfortable up on a roof, I will be leading Bible study to the children who will ultimately be living in that home. And it is through the gift of our mission committee, through your generosity on the mission auction, that the team is sponsoring me to be able to purchase the materials that we will use when we arrive in the country.